We will continue with our post-race media availabilities for today's Cheese at 3:55 at the Glen. We are now joined by the crew chief of the car that won today's race, Michael Wheeler, the crew chief for the number 11 FedEx Freight Toyota. Michael, why don't you take us through getting you guys that first road course win there?
Yeah, I remember '07 here where we actually ran top three with Tony Stewart and Jeff Gordon. Thought we had a shot at it, and Denny will tell you he had a chance to move Jeff Gordon for the win and didn't, because he thought it'd be easy to win another road course race, and that was 2007. So coming back to Sonoma this year, it was like you want to get him back running good and back up front in road courses, and fortunately we finished second there, really close. And coming into this weekend, I was kind of had high hopes. We had some good cars. Obviously, I know got a great team. Had some momentum with road course races. I knew our teammates were a little bit faster before today. I thought the 8 team was really class of the field. But end of the day, we took a top 3 car, had good pit stops, good strategy. Strategy worked out in our favor. Our spotters did a really good job all day, and we brought home the trophy.
And we're also joined by the winning car owner, Joe Gibbs. Coach, why don't you talk to us about what it means for Joe Gibbs Racing to help Denny complete that collection there for his shelf?
Well, first of all, it's great for us to be able to come to New York and Watkins Glen, a race like this. I want to say congratulations to everybody here. What impressed me a lot was that crowd. To have a sellout crowd here is huge for our sport. It's big for all of our sponsors, and we had a number of them here with us this weekend. Obviously, this race is a huge race for FedEx, and when you got somebody like that and that sponsors your car, as we all know in our sport, it's really a partnership with the sponsors, and you can't race without them. So it's a big deal for us, big deal for FedEx, big deal for our race team. Denny, I felt like at Sonoma, it was a heartbreak there to go to the last corner and lose a race out there on a road course, and then to bounce back and come back here and race like you did today. They were big hitters up front that were great road racers, and for him to come out on top here, I think it says a lot about Denny, and I think you got to consider him a threat now. I consider him a threat everywhere we go, but certainly at a road race now, I think he's proven that he's somebody that can contend for a win. It's a thrill for all of us. Everybody back home called JD and had a chance, and Denny and JD have a real bond, I think, and Denny was nice enough to talk to JD there, and it was great. So anyway, thrill for all of us.
Thanks, Coach. We're going to open up to questions for Mike and Coach. We're going to start up front with Lee.
Lee Spencer, Motorsport.com. Wheels, how concerned were you about Denny's back? I saw him in the driver's meeting. He couldn't even sit down. I think someone said on TV afterwards, he said Eric Jones, might be standing by just in case. But, how concerned were you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I got the text this morning when he woke up and he was in trouble, and he said it, and it was like, not something you really want to hear, especially when, you got good cars and good teammates and track position to start. But end of the day, I know he mans up when he needs to. I almost want to say if he knew he didn't have a winning car, he might do something different. But I know he definitely gets that attitude going in the car when he has a winning car, can run up front and tough it out. I mean, I know he's in pain. I know probably if we were practicing today, he wouldn't be practicing, Like you said, you saw him in the driver's meeting. I sat next to him, and, while it's uncomfortable, he couldn't even sit down. He was trying to make himself comfortable, and he stood up, and you could just tell he was in pain. And nothing you can do today to fix it, and he's been running pretty hard lately. I've been busy, with the sport and everything else. He's had this happen before, years ago. But he knows the situation he was in, and he knows he's just got to tough it out, and he did.
Any additional questions for Mike or Coach? All right, gentlemen, congratulations on the win, and enjoy the off week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, we are now joined by the winner of today's Cheese at 3:55 at the Glen, the driver of the number 11 FedEx Freight Toyota, Denny Hamlin. Denny, you've had a couple big wins this year, filling a couple of voids in your resume there. Talk about what it's like to get that first road course win.
Yeah, it was a great day, obviously, on the racetrack. It was an eventful race, but an uneventful race for us. We executed perfectly, didn't make any mistakes on pit road. Pit crew did great. We had a great strategy there at the end. Made a great call to stay out, hoping for those caution laps that we needed, knowing that the trend was that we were going to get those caution laps. That allowed us to make it on fuel. And then there at the end, really, we just executed on our restarts. That's been key. Is you got to get through the first couple corners on restarts, and really for us, those two guys were going for it. They slipped up and opened up a door for us to go through there and win.
All right, we'll open up to questions for Denny. We'll start up here with Holly, then go to Reed.
Holly Kane, NASCAR.com. Congratulations, Denny. Does it feel as aggressive and crazy for you as it does for the rest of us watching on the road course races? I know people say all the time, well, it's like that all the time, but it looks different at a road course.
It does. I mean, there's so many opportunities. People, you can see the lead right there in front of you. Even if you're in 8th place, the leader is right there, and so you're trying to dive in the corners and do everything you can to make a move. And the track is barely wide enough. It's a one-lane racetrack. It's just when we go to pass, you have to force somebody out of the way, or they got to give you the spot. And when they don't, it makes for very exciting wrecks. And so it just seems like really over the last 5 years or so, the road courses have taken a turn to be more aggressive. I think it has a lot to do with the chase format. Guys seeing this as a win and you're in type format. It's their opportunity when they really don't have cars that are competitive on the other racetracks. So I think that lends itself a little bit to it. But yeah, I can see it on the track for sure. It looks from my cockpit just like it does on TV.
Go up here to Reed.
Reed Spencer with the NASCAR Wire. Mike said a few minutes ago that if it had been a practice session today because of your back, you probably would not have been in the car if it hadn't been a race. How bad was it? Did it get better or worse as the race went along? And do you have any idea what causes it?
I don't know what causes it. It just happens every now and then. It's never happened on a race day for sure. Usually I'm in the car and things get looser as the weekend goes on. And really, I haven't had back problems in the last probably 4 to 5 years. It's all subsided pretty well. I've got a pretty good routine that I do during the week that helps with that. But just today, slept wrong, something, woke up and knew I was in pretty big trouble. So we worked on it all day to try to make it better. We really didn't make it much better. But yeah, no doubt, if it was Friday or Saturday, no question, I wouldn't have turned one lap today. So it was by far the worst conditions I've ever had to drive in, over the knees, anything else. This was by far the worst, pain-wise, I've had to go through. So it didn't get any better throughout the day. Trust me, I'm sitting there, and even though I'm joyed that we're leading the race, I was thinking under the red flag, I got to get out of this car. Let's get this over with so I can get out of this car. So, I don't know why it did it today, but I'll just continue to go to work on it and try to get in the gym and try to make things a little bit better overall, because I have missed my routine because I've had to travel over the last few weeks, and I've kind of got off sequence of my routine that's helped my back. So I don't think it'll go away. By Tuesday, I'll be back fine again. So it's just a pain right now.
Take our next 2 questions over on the side here.
Bob Benz, Corning Leader. You mentioned that you were strong in the restarts. I think it was about 10 laps to go where you were, I think, in about the 4th position, and you jumped in the lead. Just take us through that restart and getting in the lead, which you kept for the rest of the race. Yeah, I mean, I got a really good restart on the 2. I was in 3rd position. Kyle was outside in 2nd, and Brad was leading. And really, I got a good jump to where I was able to stay right on the 2's bumper entering the corner. And then I saw the 18 lunge forward. He didn't let off until he made sure Brad did. And so it kind of forced Brad's hand to drive in there deeper to not let the 18 clear him. So by doing that, I knew that I entered the corner as fast as I was going to enter and still be able to get out. And when I saw them shoot forward and lunge into the corner, I knew there was no possible way for them to get out with any sensible speed. So
it was my opportunity when they slid up the racetrack to execute, and we came through.
Chris Gill, also the leader. There were a lot of unforced errors on pit lane that you just talked about. What conditions led to all those, do you believe?
Yeah, I'm not sure about pit lane. Luckily for us, we pitted a little bit later than everyone else, and we had got my spotter and crew chief keyed in that there were a tremendous amount of pit road penalties. So I just backed it down an extra light or two on pit road to make sure I didn't make a mistake. I've already got a well-rounded record on pit road this year. So I knew that it's very hard to win these races if you make any mistakes. I only made one mistake at Sonoma, and it was in the final corner, and I didn't win. So really, it was a great day of execution overall, whether it be pit lane, restarts, everything on the track. I think I missed one corner into turn one time, about halfway, but other than that, pretty flawless race for us.
We'll go to Nate and then Brant.
Nate Ryan, ABC Sports. Denny, just looking back at Sonoma and now to here, and with the season you've had since Daytona, I mean, does it feel like validating, I guess, to have a day like this today when everybody else is making mistakes, your team executes mainly flawlessly, and you kind of put to rest whatever happened back in California in June?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, it wasn't a fluke. It was the biggest thing is that, sometimes you see guys run up front in a road course, and you're like, well, where'd that come from? And it happens once. But I really think that we've turned the corner, really with all of our Toyota teams. I know two of my teammates tested up here and had a good test. We used their baseline setup when we got here, and we had speed right from the get-go. So I think really you're seeing with all the Toyota teams, Ferntrero and Gibbs, that we've got something that's working well for us. We're all working extremely well together, and it's lending itself to on-track success. And when you have multiple cars with speed like we do, when one makes a mistake, there's another one there to pick up the pieces. So we were there to pick up the pieces today.
We'll go to Brant. There's a microphone right behind you, Brant.
Brant James, USA Today Sports. It seems like in both wins this year, there was a common thread. At the key moment, you responded to something the leader or leaders did and pulled it off in go time. I mean, certainly you would probably rather lead every lap and make it nice and boring. But
actually, I'd rather lead just the final lap. That
okay,
makes it more exciting.
Okay, perfect. But you must be encouraged or whatever that at that crucial moment you were able to seize on that both times.
I do, and honestly, it's more validating because I feel so awful. I mean, there were many corners that I underdrove just because my feel wasn't as good today in the race car. So, that's how we feel the edge is through our backside. When our backside's not healthy, it's tough. So, that's what made it extra special is that when it was game time, when it was go time, we got it done.
Come over here to Tyler.
Hi, Denny. Tyler Head from the Racing Experts. Sort of piggybacking off of those last two questions. Obviously, it was a slip at Sonoma that cost you the win there. Did you have anything creeping into your mind over those last few restarts and in those final couple of laps with Martin right behind you there, worrying about making a mistake, or was your head in the game, I guess?
No, it was, but I also, I gave up a little bit on corner entry to make sure that I hit my marks. It was my job to make them make a move on me instead of don't overshoot the corner and then just open the door for them. Make them make an aggressive move to pass you. By doing that, you're being a little defensive and you're not getting the 100% out of the race car, and you're allowing them to get closer. But I saw, the gap that I had going to the white. I was 2 lengths. I'd been really strong off of turn 1 all day, and I think I stretched it to 3. We go up the S's. He gets a little closer through the carousel, gets a little closer yet. And with that wreck that happened on the last caution, the turn 5 carousel was ice. And so I slid up the racetrack twice there. And, luckily those guys did too. But I think just being a little defensive on that final couple laps, making sure I didn't pull a Sonoma was, allowed them to get a little closer than what I was comfortable with. I could see in my mirror, even though I'm looking straight, you can see when a car's close, and I could see Martin shoot to the right out of 6, and I knew my position then was to block right, and force him to make a very aggressive move. And really the two in the 78 got together probably before the 78 got to me. So it was good for us, bad for them for sure. But it was my job today was just to make sure I executed, and if someone was going to beat us, they had to do it on their own.
All right, Denny, well, congratulations on the win, and enjoy celebrating for an extra week with this one.
Thank you.